Hey everyone, I know I mentioned in the last video that I wanted to share some of my favorite pieces of software and tips and tricks on how I think every indie dev should kind of organize and produce their project. So let's jump right in. So we're going to start with number one, and I'm sorry, I'm going to be that guy. You've got to use source control. No USB, no Google Drive. Well, maybe Google Drive if you really had to, but please use source control. Friends, don't let friends practice unsafe project source control. A lot of the reasons are right here: better collaboration, history tracking, ranking and merging, backup and recovery, and accountability. So I'm going to include this link, which goes into kind of different source control methodologies, lists a lot of software, but please give it a look. On that note, the two types of source control I want to talk about real quick are Perforce. So Unreal Engine has a lot of hooks into Perforce. This is primarily because Epic, developers of Unreal Engine, use Perforce internally heavily, which is one of the reasons I recommend it. You can take advantage of those hooks and make your life a lot easier. Git is also an option in GitHub. To that end, I want to mention GitKraken. It says it right here on the page: easiest Git client for beginners. I've been a paid GitKraken customer for probably a decade now. I'm an ambassador, which just means that I get to talk about GitKraken in all these videos whenever I like. And I highly recommend it. Yes, GitKraken is great, super powerful, lots of tools, has a built-in, as you can see here, has a built-in terminal. If I want to rebase, I can just type that in, or git fetch. So if you're more of a command line hero, there's that for you. Also the GUI, super performant. I can even open the Unreal Engine repository, which has hundreds of thousands of commits, and it doesn't crash. But more than all of that, GitKraken has really great training and learning resources for people who need or want to learn Git for the first time. And so highly recommend. There's an affiliate link down below, which gives you a discount on the pro subscription. But they do have a free tier, and all of the software today I'm talking about has a free tier, or a relatively inexpensive paid tier. But yeah, links will be down below for that. Next, I want to talk about TeamCity. So kind of the next level up from source control, and the number 2 on our list is going to be CI/CD. So CI/CD stands for continuous integration and continuous deployment, which simply means every time you make a change and submit it to your source control, a build system takes that change, tries to compile it, and create the artifacts for your project. Simplest layman's terms, I make a change in Perforce, I commit it, the system will try to build the editor, it'll then try to build and cook for Win64 and Linux for Steam Deck, and then it'll actually deploy that build out to Steam for me to download and play on my PC or Steam Deck. The reason why you want to do this is it allows you to catch build issues early. It allows you to see your changes as the player would see them, and you can actually test those changes. It also allows you to not lock up your dev machine. So like my personal CC that I'm sitting here in front of right now, I can build and cook and do all these things which you've built in Unreal Engine before. It takes a long time, but I can do that on a different machine, not tying up my dev machine, and I can continue to work. So TeamCity here has a really nice starter tier. You can self-host it in Docker or on a machine of your choice, and you get 3 build agents, machines of your choice, or cloud ones for free, and those are included. And I think for as powerful as TeamCity is, it supports Git, it supports Perforce, it supports a variety of different build runners, which are basically those build steps in that pipeline you saw. So definitely give that a look. If you're like, I'm on Git, I'm on GitHub, or I'm on GitLab, well, guess what? You have access to a tool as well. These are called pipelines in both of them. In GitHub, it's a special folder. I believe it's also in GitLab, special folder that you can put inside your repository to run steps. They also have the ability to run on your own hardware if you have it available. There's a little bit more setup involved, but you can do that as well. So on Git, give those a try. Next, I want to talk about JetBrains Rider. So Rider is a code editor for various, it's on Mac, Windows, and Linux, but it has really awesome unreliable support, which is what I use. As you can see here, this little tooltip, if I click it, I can see every single place this function is in my blueprint files, which that in of itself, for me as an on-origin dev, would be enough. But there's also all kinds of autocomplete, and it understands concepts of on-origin. So here I am typing in a U function, and I get all of the macros auto-completed for me right there in the editor. So, and that's just like 2 examples of the on-origin support. And they're also adding things all the time. It also supports Unity and Godot, so like this is kind of a big one. Shader debugging right here in the IDE. Unity's profiler integration. Unreal Engine just got an update to show usages for U interfaces. Code completion. There's also Godot support, so I think that's kind of amazing. Another thing to know about Rider is it is free for non-commercial use. So if you are a student or a hobbyist and you're not using, you're not trying to create a commercial product, this is amazing, especially for students. I want to push you to give this a shot. This is an industry standard tool that is being made available to you for free without any cost. That's incredible. Also, for any indies out there who are on console, Rider just dropped this year, Rider for consoles. So these are plugins to tie directly into your console SDKs for PS5, Xbox, and Switch. Looks like Switch is coming soon. There's some extra steps you have to go through, obviously showing that you have your license and all of that, but definitely give those a shot as well. CoDecks. CoDecks is a gamified, game development specific way of tracking your project. I kind of came across this randomly. I think it was on Blue Sky maybe. And I just kind of fell in love with it immediately. It really is tailored for game developers. And they've even added things like collecting feedback from Discord and the web and your game. So even having plugins to tie directly into your engine to capture feedback. So I'm just going to show rather than tell. I feel like it's really hard to explain what CoDecks is. So we're going to take a look at the milestone and timeline for my Oak City Indie tech demo. So right off the bat, I've got a burn down chart. I pull up all of my archived cards. Let's take a look, for example, at this card here. So every card fits in a deck. So a deck is basically a category for you to put your cards in. You can assign them priority, an owner, and effort points, and even a milestone. And so by doing this, they'll show up in different places. So, and then every person, it's a hand of cards. And so in your hand, you can only have a certain amount. And by doing that, you can order them and say which one needs to happen before which. And there's something about this format that I just really like. I can't quite put my finger on it. And I'm probably doing a terrible job of explaining what CoDecks is, but I just like the user experience of this just fits game development in a way that I can't quite articulate. I'm doing a terrible job of kind of trying to champion this right now, but I don't know. Maybe someone in the comments can kind of maybe see what I'm seeing and articulate it better than I can. But here's an example of all the game design cards in the game design deck. You can see how much, what cards have effort, which ones don't. You can see the total effort count, the percentage that's complete. And yeah, so I've fallen in love with CoDecks. I don't think I'm ever going to use another software, honestly, for game dev tracking. And this is just great. Next on our list, LootLocker. It is not hyperbole for me to say that Project 24 would not exist without LootLocker. LootLocker is a backend as a service for devs. They have a really great indie tier, and it comes with everything: account linking, cloud saves, player accounts, moderation, currencies, IAP, content management. I'm using this for the leaderboard system and the game asset system. So highly recommend LootLocker if you're building any kind of live service, multiplayer, anything. And lastly, this is more of a tip and trick, not necessarily software. Accountability. Having people in your life who know about the project you're working on, or fellow devs, and just sharing with them your progress and maybe having a weekly check-in or something goes a long way. I want to give a special shout out to the Cohort W25 for Nocturne. This is honestly just a shout out to them. Nocturne is a 6-week program. It's remote, it's async, it's free, and basically once a week I would check in, show them for the progress for the tech demo, share what I've been working on, struggles, and it just allowed me to have a weekly touch point with someone to say, hey, this is where I'm at, this is what I'm struggling with, this is what I'm working on, this is what I want to accomplish at the end of the 6 weeks. But you don't need a program to do that. You maybe just find a friend, maybe find a Discord server, and just, let them know, like, hey, this is important to me, this is what I'm trying to accomplish, and this is why. And so that's it. So that's the tips, tricks, and software that I've used over the last 12 to 16 months, or if not longer, that helped make this tech demo happen. If you found this helpful, please let me know in the comments below. If you have any questions on anything I talked about, or want to learn more, or you want me to break down kind of how Unreal Engine works with Perforce, or whatever you'd like, just let me know. I'd be happy to put a video together to continue doing what I can to help make indie dev scene better. So thanks, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.